Have you ever dated somebody that you needed to emotionally detach from, that they were just completely and utterly toxic? And you're trying to figure out, like, what can I do to just detach myself from this person? And how do I do that? Like, what are some things I can do to forget about them, to move on? Because you know in your mind that they are not healthy for you and it is hard. But in the end, we have to detach from those emotionally draining situations, just because it is better for your mental health. And, you want to move on and you want to find that healthy relationship. So, in the end, when emotionally toxic situationships or connections, when they disappear, this is a reality. You're not going to get closure. So that is something that you have to accept. We all want closure, like what went wrong and what happened, and people generally aren't going to give that to us. And we're like, what the hell, man? Like, we invested our time, we were good to you, and in the end, like, you just walk away and you're not going to say anything. Unfortunately, that does happen, and there's just not much you can do about it. Once you start accepting that, you're going to stop handing them the power to control your mind. Okay. So that is really, really important. I was married to a narcissist, and once I finally accepted the situation, I stopped handing him over the power to still to control me. I was like, nope, you're not controlling me. I don't think so. You're not doing this. And I moved on in my life. And there were some things that I had to do to detach emotionally. So I'm going to give you 3 tips and tricks what you can do to help detach yourself. All right, here we go. First one is cut the supply. Okay? What does that mean? You're going to delete them off any social media. You're going to block them off of any social media, their phone number, everything. Unfollow if you have to. No. Delete, block, ghost. Well, don't ghost, because that's just not cool. But no, you're going to have to just cut them off. Like, emotionally draining people will literally suck the life out of you, and it's not healthy. And don't, when that person walks away from you, don't go, oh, okay, well, let's just be friends. No, because what you're doing is you're just going to allow them access to you. No, don't do that. Don't check their stories on any of their social media. Just get them off your social media. Okay. Because the goal for you is to just try to move on. Also, don't keep tabs on them. If you're friends with any of their friends on Facebook or wherever, Instagram, I don't know, TikTok, whatever social media platform, no, don't keep tabs on them. Absolutely not. This is the hard part. And it's because every time they text you, every time they call you, your body releases a dopamine into your system. I call it the feel good drug. And when that stops, your body starts going through this withdrawal. And you're like, oh my God, like this is just really difficult. And you just feel sick to your stomach. Okay. So basically, what you're doing, and it's just detoxing from a drug that was a person. All right. So, delete, block, unfollow. All right. Next step that you're going to want to do is fill the void immediately. Okay. Don't just remove them, but replace them. Don't necessarily replace them with another person, because that's not going to help the situation. You don't want to do that. But what you want to do is, like, get back maybe into some projects that you had put aside when you started this connection. Or maybe there are goals that you want to achieve, and now you can achieve them because you're not so focused on this person. Maybe there is just another hobby that you wanted to do. Build something that they can't be a part of. And that's really important, because you want to know why. They're going to want to come back if you go ahead and you build something. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, she's doing really well. I'm going to come back and screw it all up. No, build something they can't be a part of. Okay. An empty schedule is an open invitation. It's an open invitation, okay, for your mind to spiral. So don't let that happen. Okay, moving on. Oh, and this is a truth that nobody ever wants to tell you. Okay, I'm all about truth telling as much as I can. What you're doing in your mind is you're romanticizing about this person, of what they could have been and not what they actually are. Okay, so anytime they made you feel small or anytime they hurt you with words or actions, write those things down and put that in. Every time maybe you feel like you want to reach out to them, what you should do is just hang it up somewhere so that you're like, oh my God, I really want to text him because I'm like, oh, I miss him. And what? No, you're not going to text him. You're not going to call him. Reread the list. Okay. Just keep rereading that list. All right. And that will deter you from contacting them. All right. The last step in what you can do to emotionally detox yourself from, I call a negative person, is starve the story. All right. So, especially us as women, what we like to do is we like to revisit the past over and over and over and over. And we're like, oh, and we keep talking about the person over and over and over again. And in generally, like, that's just not healthy. And sometimes I do this with my friends. Like, there was a guy I really dated, and he was definitely, like, I called him an emotional drug. It was terrible. And I had to detox myself from him. And so finally one day I just told my friend, I'm like, I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm like, this is just toxic and it's like not healthy. And I'm not moving forward in a healthy way. So it's really important, just starve the story. And in the beginning you are going to want to talk about it with your friends because it does help you move on, but eventually just like stop, just don't talk about them anymore. Okay. This is just really important. And eventually one day, you are going to be at a point that maybe you do see a picture of him or you do see him on social media, and it's just, you're not going to feel anything. And you're going to be like, oh wow, my feelings are gone, and you are going to be able to move on. So generally, work on yourself, invest your time in things that matter. And it is hard because you want to relive those moments and play those moments in your mind, but it is best to try to move forward. Maybe find a part-time job, or again, find a hobby, find something to keep your mind busy so that you don't reach back out to them, because you don't want to do that. Don't do that. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope this helps you. I've had some pretty toxic relationships, so I know what it's like. Anytime you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or send me an email at humortheheart@gmail.com. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. All right, everybody, have an amazing day. Bye.